Hi everybody, my name is Michelle, and if you're here, I imagine it's because you are ready to take the first steps towards passing the GED exams, getting your high school equivalency credential, and changing your life. If that's the case, congratulations. Today I'm going to talk about the first 3 steps that you need to take to pass the GED exams. Step number 1 is that you need to identify your why. Why do you want to take the GED exams and get your high school equivalency credential? If you haven't identified the reason that you want to go through this process, you might have a hard time staying consistent with your studying and preparation. There are a lot of different reasons that people might want to start this process and get their GED. Some people want to get their GED because they have realized that they are not able to access the same type of career opportunities without their high school diploma. This is a super common phenomenon. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, in 2017, there were 2.1 million status dropouts. Those are young adults ages 16 to 24 who are not currently enrolled in school, but also who don't have a high school diploma or equivalent. That makes the dropout rate about 5 4/10%. And that's not even counting those older individuals over 25 who do not have their high school diploma. So if you're in this situation, you are not alone. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2019, 5.4% of individuals ages 25 and older without a high school diploma or equivalent were unemployed. That's compared to only 3.7% unemployment for individuals ages 25 and older who did have a high school diploma or equivalent. The unemployment numbers are even lower for those individuals who have some college, as low as 2.7% for those individuals with an associate's degree. That's an opportunity that becomes available to you once you pass your GED exams. And it's not just the ability to get a job. The median weekly average earnings for individuals with a diploma in 2019 was $154 higher than for those without. That adds up to be more than $8,000 difference over the course of a year. Imagine what you could do with an extra $8,000 a year. Passing the GED exams might make the difference between staying in an entry-level position and getting a promotion that would lead to higher earning potential. But for some people, it's not about the career opportunities or the money. For some people, it's about keeping a promise to a parent or another relative, or setting a good example for a young child in your life. Other people just want to prove to themselves that they can stick with it and get it done. All these reasons are great reasons. And when studying gets hard and other distractions come up, you need to keep that reason front and center. Take a minute, pause the video, and write out for yourself, what is your reason for studying to take the GED exams? What will you be able to do or say once you've got your high school equivalency credential? Write it in big, bold letters. Go ahead, take a second to do it. I'll wait. And now that you've written it out for yourself, you need to tape it up by your desk, over your table, on your bathroom mirror, wherever you're going to see it so that you can remind yourself why you started and why you need to finish. The most challenging part of the GED exams is making yourself do it and staying consistent. This is not like any job or any school experience you've ever had. There's no boss or teacher or deadlines to make sure that you are doing what you need to do. You can enroll in a prep course, but even then, it's on you to make sure that you attend and that you do the studying that you're supposed to do. That is why it is so important for you to identify why you are going to invest all your time in this effort and what you are going to gain when you're done. All right, step number 2. Once you've established your why and you know what is going to keep you going, you need to learn about this test. I'm not going to go too deep on this today. If you want, you can press the subscribe button and come back for a more in-depth breakdown in the future. But the very first thing that you can do to get to know this test is make yourself an account on the GED testing website, GED.com. The GED testing service website is the only place that you can get registered to take these exams. So any other site trying to tell you that you can get your GED there is a scam. And it used to be that there was no online option at all to get your GED, but they're actually currently piloting an online option in the spring and summer of 2020 due to all the social distancing restrictions. But as of now, that's only available if you've already passed 3 out of the 4 exams. It may be more broadly available in the future, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Anyway, go ahead and sign yourself up for an account now. Don't say you're going to do it later. Just do it now. It's free. So once you are signed up, you can explore each of these test buttons to read a little bit more about the individual test. They tell you how long it is, how many questions it is, and what it covers. Again, I'm going to go over these a little more in depth in the future, but they are definitely available for you to start reading and get an idea of what you're going to start studying for. And once you've gotten familiar with the descriptions of the tests, you can look at the free practice questions that they provide, which will give you an idea of how you might do if you took those tests tomorrow. If you do fairly well on those, I recommend that you look at the GED Ready practice tests. These do cost a little bit of money. They're $6 per subject, or you can get all 4 of them for $20.99, so save $3. But they're a good tool for you to look at what the actual test is going to look like and see how you actually would do on it. They're half-length versions by the GED testing service with the same types of questions you'll see on the real exams. The score report will tell you whether you're likely to pass or not, plus it gives you a list of skills that you need to work on with corresponding pages to whatever test prep book you want to use. Speaking of books, step number 3 is to identify what kind of study materials you want to use. First thing I'll say on this topic is that you do not have to spend a ton of money to prepare to take the GED exams. There are a lot of free resources on the internet, especially if you're a little creative and you can branch away from things that are specifically labeled as GED prep materials. We know that the RLA, Science, and Social Studies exams are more about reading comprehension and critical thinking than they are about memorizing any particular list of facts. So you can brush up on the background knowledge that'll support your reading comprehension by using free resources like Crash Course and Khan Academy. Even though they don't have specific GED prep courses, they do have courses that contain all the information that you might want to know to do well on the GED Science and Social Studies tests, like US History, Civics, Government, and Economics for the Social Studies test, and High School Biology and Physics for the Science test. Khan Academy is also probably the best resource for math skills practice, and you can use the information from your GED Ready scores to help you figure out what skills you should be working on. There are also free resources to practice your reading comprehension skills. The best thing that you can do to improve your reading comprehension is to read widely at your reading level. Read Theory is a great resource for that. You can make a free student account and it'll generate passages and questions at your reading level, and it'll make them more or less difficult depending on how you're doing, so you can really practice that skill. You can also get physical GED study resources for free. A lot of local libraries have GED prep resources to borrow. You don't have to worry if they're a couple years old. The test hasn't changed significantly since 2014, so if what your library has is a 2017 or a 2018 book, that's fine. Of course, you can also buy your own GED prep book. In the scheme of things, they're pretty affordable. I've used basically every one. The Kaplan version is probably the most widely recommended. I'll link to it below if you want to check it out. They usually are between $20 and $30. One thing I do recommend that you buy before you get started is one of these calculators. This is the TI-30XS Multiview, and it is the only calculator that you are allowed to bring with you to use on the math, science, and social studies tests. You don't need one because there is a digital version on the screen, but I think it's helpful to get used to it and learn how to use all the special buttons and feel comfortable and familiar with it before you go take the test. And some people do prefer to use a physical version. They're usually only about $15, and again, you can use it on 3 out of the 4 tests, so I'd say it's worth it. And then there are all kinds of paid online resources, including some from the GED testing service. I haven't used any, so I can't speak to their quality, but again, I would let your GED Ready scores guide your decision making on how much support you're going to need to get ready to pass the exams. If you're looking for in-person support, there are a lot of community resources that offer free GED test preparation, so it's smart to see what's available near you for free before you pay for any online test prep resources. Once you decide what you're going to use to study, it's time to make a plan and a schedule to decide how you're going to tackle it. Don't expect to be able to cram for this exam. It's really not that kind of test. All 4 of the exams are skills-based, which means you really need to put in the time to develop your skills if you're not yet ready to pass. I recommend creating a schedule for yourself where you give yourself an hour or 2 of practice time per day. Plot it out on your calendar so you can give yourself that sense of satisfaction as you stick to your deadlines. Be realistic about how much you have to review and give yourself enough time, but also make a plan for when you're going to take the GED Ready test again for that subject so that you don't let it drag out for forever. And once you have a study plan, you're ready to start. So quick recap here. My 3 suggestions for how to get a good start on preparing for the GED exam are: identify your why, learn about the tests, and identify your study materials. Your dedication to learning about this process is such a good sign for your success, and I know that you're going to stick with it. Please press the like button if you found this helpful. That helps YouTube show it to other people so that I can help them as well. And if you'd like to learn more, press the subscribe button so that you don't miss my next video with more information about how to create a successful study plan so that you can pass the GED exams. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you next time.